Let's go. Good afternoon. Thank everybody for being here today. My name is Garnett Johnson. I have the honor of being the 85th mayor for the city of Augusta, and it gives me a great pleasure to welcome Governor and First Lady Marty Kemp to the beautiful city of Augusta in the Linda Beasley room. This room is special in that Linda Beasley dedicated most of her life to elections. She was an elections director for the city of Augusta, as well as a state elections director for the state of Georgia. So to be here today, signing this historic legislation, benefiting small businesses, diverse businesses, really and truly warms my heart. So on behalf of the city of Augusta, my colleagues on the commission, Ms. Lena Bonner, who's a clerk of our commission who made this event special today, we welcome members of the Georgia General Assembly, our local legislative delegation, and all of our distinct representatives. Also included are our school board members. President Charlie Walker, thank you for being here, sir. So before I turn it over to Representative Mark Newton, I'm going to use a point of privilege for 30 seconds as a small business owner to give accolades to our governor, who in his first action of governor created this Georgia's first commission to benefit small businesses, to protect jobs, to cut red tape, so that we could chase this dream of creating something special for our families. So today is just a culmination of his hard work. All of a sudden now we have an opportunity to look at women-owned business, minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, helping to consider and to continue to grow our great state. Thank you so much, Governor. Now it's my honor to turn it over to Representative Mark Newton.
Well, thank you all. What an honor for me to be here along with all of you on what's really a special day for our community, a day where we can see bills that are signed today that speak directly to our future, the future of our community. They benefit our economy, they drive our area forward. So those are the things that we're excited to be, and many of my fellow members of the General Assembly are here, and I'm excited to see House and Senate both. We're honored to have a very special guest here, obviously, to make this all happen. It's the final step in what is sometimes an arduous process of getting a bill passed and signed into law. But we have a husband, a father, a small business owner, and now someone who's in his second term as the 83rd governor of Georgia. I'm excited to have him and Marty Kemp here today. Thank y'all for being here. So well deserved. Working with the General Assembly, this governor has looked after, he's driven our economy forward, and he's looked after both our lives and our livelihoods. And we've benefited from that. The state has benefited through that through record revenues. So what have we done with those revenues? We have made strategic investments that he's overseen in transportation that help us all to get around safely around this state for the commerce that's here. Strategic investments in growing jobs in the area, jobs that often, even entire new industries that are moving to Georgia now, and we're seeing the benefit of that through record economic growth. That record economic growth has allowed the General Assembly this year to work with the governor to fully fund our reserve fund, and to also, a small thing, return $2 billion of the extra revenue directly back to Georgia families, which is so crucial at this time of nationwide inflation. These reserves are key to us keeping our AAA bond rating, and the bills signed today will move that forward. I'm honored to have both the governor here today for so many reasons that are going to make the Augusta area stronger, to make it better, strategic investments in small businesses, as well as regional attractions. We're looking forward to seeing these bills signed. I'm honored today to welcome a dear friend, the 83rd governor of Georgia, and his wife, Marty Kemp, and Governor Brian Kemp. Thank y'all for being here, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Representative Newton. I appreciate your friendship, but also your leadership, and I want to thank you for the kind remarks and introduction. And Mayor Johnson and Tony, it's an honor to be here today with the Augusta Richmond County Commissioners as well, and just want to thank the city for hosting us. I have been in the Linda Beasley room many times, especially in my days as Secretary of State working with Lynn Bailey and many other good folks down in this part of the world, and it's just great to be back. It's great to be with what I say is the greatest First Lady in the country, Marty Kemp. No one I know we got a lot of local issues and some other things that we're going to talk about today, but the members of the General Assembly that are here, a bipartisan delegation that's here with us today, has passed 8 different pieces of legislation to raise the awareness on ending human trafficking, going after the perpetrators, and supporting the victims. And no one in the country has done as much as Marty Kemp and the Grace Commission and the General Assembly. I just want to thank you all for that. I also want to thank the Thompson-McDuffie County Board of Commissioners that are here today. Lindsay Martin, the Director of Department of Economic Development's Entrepreneur and Small Business Office. Veronica Maldonado of the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, who's been such a great partner with us. We are honored to have you here today. I want to thank a couple of my floor leaders, Representative Sue Hong and Senator Mike Hodges, 2 freshman legislators that happen to be floor leaders that got baptism by fire during the legislative session this year. But they did a great job. And speaking of baptisms, 2 that have done many, Reverend Abraham Mosley and Pastor Charlie Maddox, 2 great friends and leaders, both from my hometown of Athens. I want to thank you all for being here, as well as Omar Ali and many others who've helped us organize roundtables with minority business owners around the state. I also want to thank Sue Farr, who does just an incredible job with the Augusta Metro Chamber of Commerce and the rest of her team. Dennis Brown, the CEO of Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau. Also Cedric Johnson, Brad Ussery, and other representatives from the Augusta-Richmond County Coliseum Authority. And I haven't seen Jimmy Cotty, but I was told that he was going to be here with members of the Manufactured Housing. Hey, Jimmy, good to see you. Manufactured Housing Association, and also members of the Association of Realtors. And anybody else I left out, welcome. It's good to be here today. But as Mark was saying, today is about keeping Georgia the #1 state for business. We're very proud of that. It is a distinction that we have earned for an unprecedented 9th time. Throughout my first term, we have worked hard to make our state a great place where all people can find opportunity, no matter their zip code. Since I've took office, we've seen over 150,000 new jobs that have been announced on projects that the state was involved in, working with Sue and many other local leaders, totaling over $60 billion in investment that has come to our state along with those jobs. I'm happy to report that a majority of these jobs and investments have gone to communities outside the metro Atlanta area. And these incredible figures don't even include the organic growth that we see in places like metro Atlanta that's happening every day. These are just projects that the state was involved in working with the locals. It's really hard to fathom this, but still today, even with what we're facing in the state and the country and around the world going into 2023, we have more Georgians working than ever in the history of our state, And there are at least 3 jobs available for every person who wants to work. And because of the great work that our economic development team and our partnership approach with those at the local level, we have even more economic projects in the pipeline that will bring even more opportunity to hardworking Georgians in the coming months and years. And that is something that everyone should be proud of here today, and that everyone throughout the state should be proud of, because I know that I am, and I know that we wouldn't be doing this unless we had this great team in the General Assembly working with us, but also having such great partnerships that we have with people like Sue and the mayor and the commission and other people at the local level. But as I always say, we cannot rest on our laurels, especially with the possibility of our nation entering a recessionary environment right now, and not to mention a lot of bad policies that are coming out of Washington, D.C. Unlike underneath the Gold Dome, where we're passing a lot of good policies, making it better for job creators to succeed in our state. And that's why the bills I'll sign in a few moments were designed to do just that, to help us further our reputation as the best place to do business and to deliver on the promise I made to grow opportunity for all people in our state. House Bill 128 will be the first piece of legislation. It's going to streamline and expand access to state certifications for minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses as they navigate the procurement process for contracts. This bill, as Garnet mentioned, came out of the executive order I issued last July directing the Department of Administrative Services to address the challenges that these businesses face in the procurement process. It called for recommendations on how we can improve access for all Georgians, and the department has certainly delivered. I want to thank Commissioner Rebecca Sullivan and her team for that good work, but also for their input on this legislation. I want to specifically thank Julian Bailey, who serves as the Small Business and Supplier Diversity Manager at DOAS, a position also created by last year's executive order. She's been in that role for 10 months now, and we're proud of the work that she continues to do. Unfortunately, they couldn't be with us this afternoon because they're already hard at work implementing some of those recommendations at the annual State Procurement Conference, which is today, with the suppliers and vendors from all over the state. The shared goal of that executive order and of House Bill 128 is straightforward: to cut red tape and support small businesses. And this bill certainly does that. It will also help increase competition within the procurement process so state contracts are delivered at the lowest cost and the best value to the taxpayer. I want to thank my floor leaders, Representative Sue Hong and Senator Mike Hodges, for carrying this piece of legislation, and for both chambers who voted overwhelmingly for this piece of legislation. Next, I'll sign Senate Bill 213, which was sponsored by Senator Max Burns, who's here with us today, and carried in the House by Representative Dale Washburn. This legislation enables property owners to replace an existing manufactured home with a newly built manufactured home without running into bureaucratic restrictions. That is especially helpful for those affected by natural disasters like a tornado or hurricane, and it protects individual property rights while preventing homeowners from being priced out of their community. Lastly, I'll sign HB 230, sponsored by Representative Mark Newton and carried by Senator Max Burns in the Senate. This bill allows the Augusta-Richmond County government to put an important question before the people of this community: how to fund the proposed renovations to the James Brown Arena here in downtown Augusta. That facility, well over 4 decades old, helps bring major events, tourism, and economic development opportunities to the city and the surrounding area. It is a valued asset to this region, and it will be the people's right to decide how best to take care of it. In closing, like I said, all of these bills add to our reputation as the best state for opportunity, and they represent my commitment to work just as hard in my second term as we did in the first to bring greater jobs and investment to all communities in our state. I want to thank again the local and state leaders and the many associations and hardworking team members that are here today for helping us keep Georgia the best place to live, work, and raise a family. And with that, I'll move to the table and sign these bills into law. Thank y'all all for being with us today. All right, first we got House Bill 128. All right, congratulations.
Awesome. All right, SB 213 next, so if y'all will transition this way, and we'll bring the next group in.
Hold on. Appreciate you.
Thank you. You
Veronica with the Georgia Chamber. I'm looking forward to connecting with you, sir.
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm gonna stick around for a little bit. Maybe we can connect.
Come on in here, guys.
Good job, man.